is how to build more muscle even if you got very, very bad genetics. And trust me, it's not as hard as you think. And before you say, oh, but you're black or you've got good genetics, I've helped people that are skinny gain 15 and 20 pounds in like 6 to 8 months. It's possible and it can be done. And I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. Watch to the end and make sure you get to the last point, because the last point is the secret sauce. Oh, and before we go any further, make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I want you to think of your genetics like a blueprint for a skyscraper. Some blueprints are more complex than others, right? But it doesn't mean that a building can't get higher. It's just a blueprint. Your genetics are the same thing. Yep, some people are genetically predisposed to being able to build muscle and get bigger quickly. That doesn't mean that you can't do the same thing. In fact, all the research shows us that your genetics actually play a minimal role when it comes to gaining weight and building muscle mass. And an even bigger influence is your nutrition and your training. So let's bear that in mind. If we focus on that, we can make a bigger difference. And if you approach it from that mindset, you'll get out of this, oh, it's my genetics thing, which is actually holding you back rather than moving you forward. So training and nutrition, the two most important pillars to gaining size and muscle mass. I need you to think of it like this. From a genetic aspect, some people have a head start in this race. Yes, they do. But that doesn't mean that you can't catch up. And that means you have to really be meticulous with your training and your nutrition. Now let's talk about training. Your training needs to be frequent, but it needs to be hard. I see too many guys on the gym on the leg press while on their phone at the same time, or they're talking on the phone while doing bicep curls. The intensity is not there. You have to increase your intensity in the gym in order to break down your muscle tissue to then build it back up so that you can actually build bigger muscles. And also you need to be frequent. And when I say frequent, I mean minimum 3 times a week. But if I was trying to gain weight, I'll be pushing it like 4, 5, and 6, maybe 6 to be honest. So if you want to build the muscle, you need to be frequent. The minimum is hitting your major muscle groups at least 2 times a week. So that's your upper body, chest, back, and then your legs, of course. And if you do that, then you will see progress. It doesn't end there. You need to make sure you're doing the basic progressive overload. You've heard it a million times. And the reason you've heard it so many times is because it's so important. You should be looking to try and increase the weight that you lift. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you know how much you're lifting. So the very first thing you need to do is when you hit the gym, you need to get yourself one of these bad boys and actually note down how much you're lifting. Use your phone, use a notepad. It really doesn't matter. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. And then when you track your lifts, you can see that, hey, in week 10, I was lifting more than week 2, which means I'm getting stronger, which means I have the capacity to build more muscle tissue, which is what we're trying to do here. But then that leads me to the next thing, which is food. The reality is that for you to gain weight and build more muscle, you need more energy. Imagine putting more money in the bank, right? Your bank balance is getting bigger and bigger, okay? But you have to use a certain amount of money as well, which is the calories that you burn throughout the day. So if you're spending more than you consume, and guess what? You're not going to gain weight, you're going to lose weight. So you need to consume more. You need to save more money. Most people who struggle to gain weight are not eating as much as they think. That's like me saying that I'm saving a lot of money, but I don't seem to have any money saved in my bank. It's the same concept. You need to be eating more. So if you're eating 3 meals a day and you're not gaining weight, eat 4. If you're eating 4 meals a day and you're not gaining weight, eat 5. If you're eating 5 meals a day and you're not gaining weight, eat 6. I know it sounds mad. You have to eat more and maybe try and fit more food in those meals as well, because that's going to make a big difference. Make sure your protein is on point. My advice, especially if I'm trying to gain weight, would be to have at least 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Yes, it's a lot of protein. You're going to be hitting the toilet a lot. If you're bulking, it's worth it. It's worth it. Which leads me to a next point. Don't go crazy with the bulk, okay? Because if you eat too much calories, you're going to put on excess fat. My advice is to keep your bulk around 400 to 500 calories above your maintenance levels, which then allows you to steadily gain weight, which is what you want to do. If you gain weight too fast, probably going to be in the form of body fat, which we want to minimize while we gain the weight. We want to gain muscle, right? That's what we want. The next part is sleep and stress management. Too many guys overlook sleep. They just think, oh, I can go to bed at 4 a.m. and play Xbox all night. No, you want to bulk up, you want to gain some muscle mass, you got to sleep, right? Because guess what? When you sleep, your body's recovering. It's actually repairing all the damage that you did to your muscle in the gym. Hopefully you went to the gym and you trained hard. If you don't sleep, you're not going to grow. If you don't grow, you're not going to gain any weight. So my advice is get at least 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep. Make sure you have good sleep hygiene, fresh bed sheets. Make sure your room is nice and cool. Can't be too hot in there or else you will never get to sleep. No TV, no electronics in bed. Do those things and I promise you will sleep a lot better. Try to get to bed before midnight. Unless you're a shift worker, well then it is what it is. But you need to make sure that you're sleeping right. If your sleep's all messed up, you don't recover properly, your muscles will not grow. Your stress levels will be all over the place. Your hunger hormones will be all over the place and you will struggle to build that muscle and gain that weight. You can blame genetics all you like, but genetics is only one aspect. It's not significant enough. Everything else is way more significant than your genetics. So you need to do the work. And if you control those aspects alone, your body will transform in the next 10 weeks. 10 weeks is all it will take to gain a little bit of weight. Aim to gain about half a pound of muscle every single week, especially if you're a beginner. At some point you will plateau. When you get a bit more advanced like me, you can't gain that much muscle every single week. But that's a good starting point. And then from there, you got to make sure you keep increasing your calories over time. No more blaming genetics. Get it done. That's all you need to do. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. But also, if you want to know what to do in the gym and how to set up your own workouts, watch this video right here.